So people, on a sister war go there Jamaica. Big war. You know, sister Donald Trump want peace at Jamaica now like the Chinese. Hey!
He who feeds you controls you. America knows that.
Ladies and gentlemen, what if one of the world's most strategically important countries isn't global superpower, but a small Caribbean island? For decades, Jamaica has been famous for its beaches, reggae music, and sprinting legends. But today, governments, investors, and global businesses are looking at Jamaica for a very different reasons. Something bigger is happening behind the scene, and it could shape Jamaica's future for decades to become. Let's explore why the world is paying closer attention to Jamaica than ever before.
Why does Donald Trump want China out of Jamaica? Jamaica is the focal point of a global power struggle between two of the world's most powerful nations, the United States and China. One person who made his stance crystal clear is Donald Trump. As US president, Trump was vocal about his concerns over China's global ambitions, including its growing footprint in Jamaica. But why is Trump so determined to push China out of Jamaica? What does this small Caribbean nation represent in the larger chessboard of global politics? To understand Trump's concerns, let's start with geography. Jamaica is no ordinary island. It's a gateway. Strategically located in the heart of the Caribbean, Jamaica sits on vital shipping lanes connecting North and South America, Europe, and beyond. Jamaica is also home to one of the most modern shipping ports in the Western Hemisphere. The Kingston Freeport Terminal is a key hub for trade, making Jamaica a critical player in global logistics and commerce. It's no surprise that China has been investing heavily in Jamaica, pouring billions into infrastructure like the North-South Highway, ports, and renewable energy projects. But to the US, these investments are more than economic. They're strategic moves in a larger game of influence. According to Trump, China is not just taking over. They're setting up shop everywhere. And he's not going to let that happen in the US-owned backyard. Throughout his presidency, Trump viewed China as a direct competitor to the United States. For him, it wasn't just about trade deficits or military power. It was about influence, especially in regions historically dominated by the US, like the Caribbean. In Trump's eyes, China's growing footprint in Jamaica wasn't just a business opportunity. It was a threat to US dominance in the Western Hemisphere. And for a president who championed America first, losing ground in the Caribbean was simply unacceptable. One of the most striking examples of China's influence in Jamaica is the North-South Highway. Built by the China Harbor Engineering Company, this $730 million project connects Kingston to Ocho Rios, slashing travel times and boosting tourism. As part of the deal, China received a 50-year concession to collect toll revenue, a move that has sparked debates about sovereignty and long-term economic dependency. China's involvement doesn't stop there. It has modernized Jamaica's shipping infrastructure, turning the Kingston Freeport into a key node in its Belt and Road Initiative, a global strategy to expand China's influence through trade and infrastructure. But why does Trump care so much about China's presence in Jamaica? The answer boils down to three key factors: strategic control, economic competition, and regional influence. Jamaica's ports, highways, and proximity to the Panama Canal make it a critical location for controlling trade routes. Trump feared that China's investments could give Beijing undue influence over these key assets. Jamaica's bauxite industry, renewable energy sector, and booming tourism market are areas where China is gaining a foothold, challenging U.S. economic interests. By funding massive infrastructure projects, China is winning hearts and minds in Jamaica, potentially shifting political allegiances in a region the U.S. has long considered its own sphere of influence. Under Trump, the U.S. ramped up its presence in the Caribbean. Programs like the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative and USAID provided funding for public safety, education, and renewable energy in Jamaica. However, these efforts often couldn't match China's large-scale infrastructure investments. In comparison, China gave Jamaica $2 billion in infrastructure, ports, and energy, while the U.S. gave $619 million in development aid and trade incentives. The numbers reveal the challenge. While the US focuses on security and governance, China is reshaping Jamaica's physical landscape. According to Jamaica's Prime Minister, Jamaica welcomes partnerships with all nations, as long as they align with the country's vision for sustainable development. Jamaica's leaders are navigating a complex balancing act. While they embrace China's infrastructure investments, they are also working closely with the US to maintain trade ties and regional security. This delicate diplomacy reflects Jamaica's broader Vision 2030, a strategy to achieve sustainable development and economic growth. So, why does Trump want China out of Jamaica? The answer lies in a mix of strategic control, economic rivalry, and the fear of losing influence in a region crucial to America's interests. But for Jamaica, the question isn't just about choosing sides. It's about charting a path that secures its own future. What do you think? Should Jamaica lean toward the US, embrace China's investments, or find a way to work with both? Let us know in the comments below.
He who feeds you controls you. America knows that. And that's what every other country, right, dealing with this regime coming out of the United States should be aware of, including Jamaica. The leaders in Jamaica right now, they need to focus on building relationships with other strong countries around this globe, whether it's in Asia, Europe, South America, or whatever the likes. Okay, build relationships with it's the same thing you see Canada doing and any other country doing. So now you understand why they didn't like Michael Manley. Okay, former Jamaican Prime Minister Michael Manley. They didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They didn't like Marcus Garvey. Any person who try to educate people on the importance of being self-reliant. The U.S. doesn't like that. They like you to rely on them so they could feed you. Okay? Until they get mad and pissed off, they could choose when to stop feeding you. So that's always been the plan. That's the plan. To get you in a situation where you rely on them, you depend on them, you need them. That's where they want to get you. You know what I'm saying? But every country across this globe, no matter what country, Caribbean, South American countries, European countries, you should build strong alliances and relationships with other countries across this globe. Do not depend on the United States for everything. Okay? Because once they pull the rug from under your feet, you're screwed. Screwed. You see what I'm saying? And many countries across the world are now learning this. That semi-depend on America. And the reason is America can get a leader anytime that's racist or has the same ideologies and philosophies as Donald Trump does. At any time they could get a leader that behaves that way. You get what I'm saying? Because you got to understand that it's not impossible to find another Donald Trump in America. America is a majority white society, 70+% white in America. So it's easy to find another Donald Trump in this country. You understand what I'm saying? So don't take no chances and put all your eggs in one basket and solely depend on America for everything. Never do that, because the first chance they get and the first time you do something they don't like, they're gonna screw you over. So now you can see where they're trying to destroy the relationships between China and Jamaica, and also Cuba and Jamaica. The reason they want to do that is what I just told you. So they could have Jamaica how they want Jamaica. You get what I'm saying? But check this out. Bet you didn't know this. Bet you didn't know that the fact that England still owns Jamaica is what's really keeping America to do what they really want to do with Jamaica. Did you know that? You didn't know that, do you? That's what's holding them back. That's what's holding them back. It's the fact that Jamaica is still under the British Crown. So technically Jamaica is still a British country. It's still under the crown or territory or whatever you want to call it. It's still under Britain's ownership. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's holding back America. Don't think it's something else that's holding back the United States from doing what it really wants to do with Jamaica. It's just the paperwork, the British paperwork that Jamaica has. Now, knowing that, a lot of Jamaicans will now say, well, I don't want Jamaica to be free from England because America could invade or take over at any time or do Jamaica the way they're doing Cuba. They could do it if it wasn't for the fact that King Charles is still the head of state of Jamaica. They could probably do it like Cuba. Would you put it past them that they'll try something like they do in Cuba? I wouldn't put it past them. You understand? Yeah. But because King Charles is at the helm of Jamaica and is still the head of state of Jamaica, they know that. You see? So that's something that Jamaicans should be aware of, and the rest of Caribbean countries that's in the Caribbean that's under the British Crown or whatever. You should be aware that there are countries out there that will probably behave like the US if they get the opportunity to, and the reason why they're being stopped is because a lot of these islands are under the British Crown. You see, so a lot of people would cry, oh, we don't want Jamaica under the British Crown. We don't want Jamaica under the British Crown. Some real bad things could happen. Some real bad things could happen, okay? So, look at what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they will forever hate Marcus Garvey. They will never like Michael Manley. Never. You dig what I'm saying? Because these guys knew what they were. They know that self-reliance is the answer. Self-reliance. Okay, all these Caribbean leaders, you need to be building strong alliances with different parts of the world. Strong alliances. The alliances you build should be so strong that if America says, you know what, we ain't going to deal with you, you could still function. You want to get to that point. That's the point you really want to get to. You understand? Because like I said earlier, it's not hard to find another Donald Trump in America. There's a lot. This is a majority white country. There's a lot of racists live here. A lot of racist people live here. You understand? So even when Donald Trump leaves office 2028, right, guess what? They could get somebody worse. You understand? Look, man, I'm telling you like how it is. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. You see what it is. You see what they're doing. But don't let them destroy your relationships and depend on them. That's a narcissistic trait. Like a narcissist. It's like in a relationship with a person, and then they try to cut you off from your mom, your dad, your uncles and nephews so you can depend on them. Right? And then you depend on them, and whenever they don't feel like it, they pull the rug from underneath your feet. It's the same thing America's trying to do. So Caribbean leaders, South America, whatever country in the world, be careful with the United States. Okay? Be cautious with the United States of America. Okay? Because they could leave your country in a big quagmire situation if given the chance. If given the chance, they'll do it. Okay? It's the ideology of the leadership that's here. At any time, they could be like, you know what? I don't like the way you look today. I'm going to stop supplying you oil or whatever bullshit. Okay? Stay safe. They finally made it to Jamaica. They've been searching for this loophole for years. A window of opportunity to go into Jamaica with U.S. military presence. And you may say what you want to say. They're there to help. That's good. Right? That they're there to help. But the ultimate thing is not to help the people of Jamaica. It's to push China out of Jamaica. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Marco Rubio spoke about it. There's too much Chinese presence. President Barack Obama went to Jamaica on the same mission. You know what I'm saying? Now they have a window of opportunity, Hurricane Melissa. And they slid through that window. Now, like I've told you guys before, that there's a U.S. Air Force military airfield in Jamaica. It's called Vernon Field. Vernon Field airstrip, right, where they do drag racing. It was built by the U.S. Air Force, for those who don't know, in the 80s. That's the last time they had heavy U.S. military presence in Jamaica. And now you can see they use the opportunity of Hurricane Melissa. Okay, let's say they're there to help, but it's not the people that's the main thing. If you notice how fast BBC, Fox News, CSNBC, MSNBC, all these major news outlets just ended up in Jamaica. Boom, all of a sudden before the hurricane. You understand? We got to look at the facts. Look at the facts, right? They just ended up in Jamaica before the hurricane, right? Covering the story in depth, in crevices and corner, that these big major news outlets like BBC, Fox News, MSNBC, those cameras have never been in those parts of Jamaica before. You understand what I'm saying? They covered it heavier than when Kamala Harris was running for president. It got more coverage. There's a reason for that. The reason is the United States want to establish a military presence in Jamaica to push Chinese government up out of there. That's it. So don't be crisscrossed, don't be fooled, and think, yeah, they're just here to help us. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of years they tear down Marcus Garvey's statue and erect a Confederate military general like Robert E. Lee or one of them Confederate generals from America in this spot. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me if they say, you know what, forget Marcus Garvey, because you know that the Trump administration, they don't like black history. So you understand? So I wouldn't be surprised. Be like, well, you know what, we're gonna erect one of our Confederate generals. You know, people, those generals who used to kill black people for a living back in the days of slavery in America. It wouldn't shock me if one of those statues end up in Jamaica somewhere. You understand? Yeah. So all the people out there, don't fool yourselves. Okay? Don't fool yourself and don't be fooled. Look what they're doing. You know how long America's been waiting for this? An opportunity to just climb through the window and establish a military presence in Jamaica. Years. Since the days of President Obama. They've been trying to get up in there. They've been trying for years to get up in there. You understand? Because they do not want China there. That's the bottom line. Why do you think Marco Rubio came to Jamaica? It's not for Duns River Falls. You understand? This is part of the business. And keep in mind that there's a heavy military presence, U.S. military presence in the Caribbean right now. Would say Venezuela, Trinidad, all these places, wherever. Heavy military presence. So they could just they could just go island hopping at any time. At any given time, they could just hop from island to island. You see what I'm saying? So that's where it's at. Yeah, all these major Fox News, BBC, 60 Minutes, big ass news stations. You know what I'm saying? They don't love Jamaica that much. They don't love the people of Jamaica that much. There's a different agenda. America doesn't even love their own people. Right now, they're starving people in America. You understand? Cutting off their food stamp benefits and all this other SNAP benefits and all this other shit. So do you think they love you that much? A Jamaican person in a Jamaican country? Nah. The love it doesn't run that deep. They don't even like their own people. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so there's a different agenda and a different ulterior motive. Okay? Stay woke. Peace.
So people, on sister war go there Jamaica, big war. You know, sister Donald Trump want peace at Jamaica now like the Chinese. Hey, I wonder how 1 p.m. I go work out the one here. Knowing say 1 p.m. cannot say no to Donald Trump. And the Chinese then come invest a lot and build up and do a lot in our country. So, me don't know how 1 p.m. I go do this a one year now. Eh? How him I go tell Donald Trump no? So war I go there Jamaica? Whether I don't like it or not. Because 1 p.m. cannot tell Donald Trump no. And I'm sure the Chinese government is gonna get involved in this war once Donald Trump come overthrow them, right? So, may the best person win this war, cause war is on the way for Jamaica. Oh yeah. But only thing me say, if the Chinese, if the US can come in, come pay better minimum wage, make minimum wage go up to at least $30,000. Well, me I go say, you know what? USA deserve piece of the pie. Because under 1 p.m. with the Chinese them, because Chinese they not really pay good. So under 1 p.m. and the Chinese them, it's like a Jamaican people they in a slaves. In a slave. Right? So if one can come in, come put some pressure for the government. Say, okay, Jamaican people they need to pay better than 100 US a week. Well, we shall see. But only thing me say, gear up for war. But I hope say all the squatters them get tackle for them land before this a war start. Yes. Alright? Have a nice day.
When most people think of Jamaica, they picture crystal clear beaches, reggae music, jerky chicken, and the incredible achievement of Jamaican athletes. Those are certainly part of Jamaican's identity. But beyond its culture lies something many people overlook. Its strategic location. Jamaica sits near some of the busiest shipping lanes in the Western Hemisphere. It lies at the crossroad of Northern America, Central America, South America, and the wider Caribbean. That location has become increasingly valuable in today's global economy. As international traders continues to grow, countries and businesses are looking for efficient places to move goods across the America. Jamaica has the potential to become one of those key logistic hubs. Modern ports, shipping facilities, and transportation network are becoming more important than ever. And Jamaica is working to position itself as a major player in the Caribbean trade. But geography is only part of the story. Another reason the world is paying attention is investment. Over the past several years, Jamaica has attracted growing interest from international companies and development partners looking for opportunities in infrastructure, tourism, and energy and logistics. These investments don't just create buildings, they create jobs. They improve transportation, they strengthen trades, and they help lay the foundation for long-term economic growth. Tourism remains one of the Jamaican's strongest industries, welcoming millions of visitors every year. But many experts believe Jamaica's future won't depend on tourism alone. There is increasing interest in expanding manufacturing, digital services, renewable energy and technology. Diversifying the economy could make Jamaica more resilient while creating a new job opportunity for young entrepreneurship and professionals. Another major advantage is political stability. In a region where investors often seek for predictability, Jamaica has built a reputation for maintaining democratic institutions and peaceful transition of power. While every nation faces political debate and economic challenges, stability plays an important role in attracting international confidence. Businesses are far more likely to invest where they believe long-term planning is possible. Jamaica's legal and financial institution continues to support that confidence. Education is also becoming an increasing valuable asset. Jamaica are making significant contribution across medicine, engineering, finance, technology, entertainment, and businesses around the world. The country's greatest resources has always been its people. As global industries become more knowledge driven, skill and creative talent become just as important as natural resources. That gives Jamaica another competitive advantage. Of course, no country's journey is without obstacles. Jamaica continues to face challenges including crime, public theft, infrastructure, and the rising cost of living. These issues remain important priority for both government and citizens. Addressing them will be essential if Jamaica hopes to fully realize its economic potential. But many observers believe that despite these challenges, Jamaica has continued moving in a positive direction. International organizations have recognized improvement in several areas of economic management over recent years. Combined with its strategic location and growing global partnership, this has increased international confidence in the country's future. Perhaps the biggest reason the world is paying attention is that Jamaica offers something increasingly valuable in today's uncertain world: potential. Potential to become a logistic hub, potential to expand international trade, potential to attract new industries, potential to strengthen regional leadership, and potential to continue inspiring the world through its culture, innovation, and people. History has shown that small nations can have enormous global influence. Jamaica has already shaped music, sport, language, fashions, and culture far beyond its size. Now, many believes its economic and strategic influence could also continue to grow. The decision made today by leaders, businesses, investors, and ordinary Jamaicans could determine what the next chapter look like. The opportunity is there. The question is how Jamaica choose to seize it. Jamaica has never been just another Caribbean island. Its culture has inspired millions. Its athletics has broken world records. Its people have left unforgettable marks across the globe. Now, its location, economy, and growing international partnership are giving the world even more reason to pay attention. Will Jamaica become one of the Caribbean's leading economy and strategic success story? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the world is watching. What do you think? Are Jamaicans' best days still ahead, or what challenge must the country overcome to reach its full potential? Share your thoughts in the comment below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notification for more videos about Jamaica's global affairs, Caribbean development, and country's exciting future. Thank you for watching, and as always, one love.